know with all my heart and soul that highly sensitives can genuinely thrive in business and life and have deep, meaningful, lasting impact in the world. I also know that we don't have to lose ourselves and sacrifice all our needs doing it. Through my own experience, my own journey, I've come to see that the way to create sustainable success is truly to accept and embrace who we are as a highly sensitive. Learn how to manage our nervous system so we don't get taken out by overwhelm and burnout, and then remain committed to using our highly sensitive traits as a strength rather than seeing it as a weakness. Like a lot of highly sensitives, I set out to start my own business because I really wanted to be able to change how I lived my day-to-day life. I was working as a high school drama teacher and I loved the work. I loved my students, but I was really absolutely crushed and suffocated by the system, and especially the long, grueling days. I was just exhausted all of the time and constantly questioning what was wrong with me. I didn't know I was highly sensitive at the time, but I had this idea of like, wow, what if I could design my day where I would start every day with like plenty of space to journal, yoga. I knew I was an excellent teacher. I knew I was a great coach. So what if I could do that, but in a way where I really felt supported by my day-to-day life? And that was absolutely what pulled me into being self-employed, even though I was absolutely terrified. I had been self-employed for about 8 years at that time and found myself just absolutely overwhelmed, overworked, overexhausted. Did not know I was highly sensitive and was really questioning what is wrong with me. Why is this so difficult? I stopped going to conferences. I stopped attending masterminds. I no longer took the courses. I even removed myself off of email lists and just really went into a place of deep, deep self-inquiry because I was really questioning like, oh my gosh, if I can't make this self-employed thing work, then what am I going to do? And here's the real kicker. At that time, on paper, I had brought my business across the $1 million mark. Yet in reality, it was actually my lowest net year. So I was totally overwhelmed and I had no money. Dark night of the soul absolutely led me to understand that I was highly sensitive. I immediately just had such resistance to it. I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be something else that I need to manage, something else that makes me different, wrong, weird. But the more that I went deeper and deeper into my work with Dr. Elaine Aron, I suddenly started to realize that, being highly sensitive just means that I have to do things differently. If my nervous system is wired to take in stimulation at a much higher degree, then what does it mean to work with that intentionally? And I started making the connection to how everything was happening in my business and realized like, because I'm highly sensitive, I need to go about marketing differently. I need to go about selling differently. I need to go about operations differently. And then I made the dot connect, a light bulb moment to the spiritual and psychological curriculum that I've worked with and studied since being a teenager, A Course in Miracles. Now, A Course in Miracles defines a miracle as a shift in perception. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is what I need. I need a shift in perception about what it means to be self-employed and what being self-employed looks like. For me, I need a business miracle. And that was really the beginning of everything that has changed and transpired from that point. I think what's really important to emphasize is that I'm a teacher at heart. I've always been a teacher. One of my earliest memories is actually from preschool. And for fun, I'm gathering other 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds around me and conducting class. So when it came to creating tools and teachings and trainings for the Highly Sensitive Leadership Training Program, that was just very natural for me. As I was learning what I needed as a highly sensitive to be able to successfully be self-employed, I was creating tools to support myself, taking into consideration my educational training and how there's different learning styles, auditory, visual, kinesthetic, and creating tools that would support me in really being able to create the transformation that I was wanting. And those evolved into teachings and trainings, and now the 7 tracks of highly sensitive leadership training curriculum that we offer in the program.